Hello, and good afternoon, and welcome to this week's edition of From Dina's Desk. I am your career and life coach, and I will be live here every Tuesday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming to you with a different topic that can help you elevate in your career. For the people who may be just joining or just finding out about me for the first time, I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I am, like I said, a career and life coach that is truly passionate about helping people elevate, helping people who feel stuck, helping people move from where they are to where they want to be in their life and their career. I work with people individually, and I work with groups and teams to help them with their leadership, to help them get their best performance, and to help them with their career advancement and transition. And it's truly what I'm passionate about, and truly the reason why I'm here. So for today's topic, we are going to talk about 6 things you need to prepare for your next performance review. 6 things you need to prepare for your next performance review. Now, most likely your performance review is going to be annually, and it is a big deal. It is something that's very important because that's your opportunity to talk with your supervisor one-on-one about your contributions, to talk about your accomplishments for the past year, how you have contributed individually and with the team, and also to talk about your goals for the next year. And oftentimes it is associated with a pay increase. So it's something we definitely want to take seriously, and something we definitely want to put some thought into so we can shine and be seen in the best light. So let's just jump right in. The first thing that you want to have prepared for your next performance review is a list of your individual accomplishments. A list of your individual accomplishments. Now, maybe you work in a company where the culture is for you to submit a monthly report, maybe a quarterly report perhaps. And so when it comes time for your annual review, you can just combine those reports together and come up with all of your contributions for the year. And if so, that's the easiest route to go and the easiest way to list your personal accomplishments. But even if not, then you can keep track of it yourself, because you can very easily come up with a Microsoft Word document to list it. You can open an Excel spreadsheet or whatever other software that you want to use to keep up with the things that you are doing throughout the year and what your accomplishments are. So when it comes time for your annual review, it's basically a copy and a paste. And whenever you are keeping track of these accomplishments, you want to make sure that you use quantitative data. And by quantitative data, I mean numbers, percentages, and dollar amounts. You want to talk about your accomplishments in numbers, dollar signs, and in percentages. And that way it makes it easier for someone to really be able to gauge what your contribution was. So instead of saying that you increase sales over the year, you increase sales by 30% within 6 months. So instead of saying that you facilitated a workshop for over 200 employees at 6 different locations, right? So when you talk about some of the projects, oversaw a $1.2 million project that affected 3,000 customers or something like that, right? So you can see the difference in just making generic statements, and then the difference between that and making those quantitative statements. So think about those quantities whenever you are making your list of your accomplishments to bring into your next performance review. The second thing is, while you're thinking about your individual accomplishments, also think about the team accomplishments. Because most likely you have a team goal, a departmental goal, and of course, organizational goals, right? So think about it on those different levels. Your individual that we just talked about, what were you trying to accomplish as a team or a department? And then organizational. What were some of those organizational goals that came down from your senior leadership? And you want to think about what they were and think about how your contributions specifically attributed to that. So say, for instance, your organizational goal was to open up 3 locations in the next, within the past year. And say you helped with 2 out of 3 of those locations. You helped to open up those locations. You provided support to those locations. You want to talk about that. You want to remind your supervisor that we had these departmental or organizational goals, and my contributions aligned with that. Okay. And say, for instance, maybe as a department, you had low customer service scores, and you specifically trained your colleagues, you specifically put in some processes in place to make it easier for your customers, and that increased your customer service scores by 23%. You want to remind remind your supervisor that the things that you did not only were your individual accomplishments, but they helped the team, the department, and the organization as well. Then number 3, the third thing that you want to bring to your performance review is you want to bring positive feedback. The positive feedback that you have gotten throughout the year. So as you are working on your team daily, as you are working with customers, as you're working with stakeholders and clients and other people, within the organization, you want to make sure you keep track of that. And it may be verbal. You may have gotten some verbal feedback that maybe you want to jot down. Maybe someone sent you an email and you maybe want to have a folder in your email list and call it feedback. And every time someone sends you an email saying, great job on that. You did a great job, facilitating the meeting. You did a great job catching that problem, which saved us X amount of dollars or something like that. Any feedback that you have gotten, you want to make sure you put it in that folder, move that email over to that folder, or just keep track of it so that when it comes time for your performance review, you can say, I've had 5 different external vendors give positive feedback on me and talk about how they like to work with me and how, I was able to streamline their process or whatever the case may be. So feedback doesn't always have to be formal. It can be very informal. Someone could have passed you in the hallway and said, great job. Someone, could have sent you a text message about something. Those are all things that you want to keep track of and make sure you bring those to your performance review, because that's a sign of the great work that you're doing. And that's a sign that other people recognize the great work that you're doing outside of your team as well. Then number 4, the next thing that you want to bring to your performance review is you want to bring your knowledge of industry trends. And you want to bring your knowledge of industry trends. Now, we know trends are always changing. Things are always changing from year to year, and sometimes it seems month to month. There's always some changes. And so you want to stay abreast of what's going on in your industry. Now, maybe you read blogs. Maybe you are in professional memberships and they had a guest speaker come to one of the monthly meetings and talk about something that's coming down the pipeline. Or maybe you follow a company right here on LinkedIn and they mentioned some new technology or some new things that they're doing and how they're making waves in your industry. Those are all things that you want to make sure you're taking note of, make sure you keep those on your radar, and then you can recommend certain initiatives or recommend changes to your supervisor based on the industry trends. If you're in IT and you know there's a certain technology that's coming out, you may introduce your supervisor to that new technology and let them know we need to get on top of this because this is the new thing in our industry, and we need to be a part of this. Or maybe you're in the marketing field and you know there's a new app that's out. There's a new way people are marketing on social media. People are going live on LinkedIn or whatever the case may be. You may want to say, you know what, we need to be doing a podcast. We need to be going live once a week because that's the new thing that's going on. And that's what we need to do if we want to stay at the forefront of our industry. So keep abreast, stay abreast of what's going on in your industry, know about the trends, and then be able to communicate that to your supervisor to be able to recommend initiatives, things that you need to start doing, or maybe some things you're currently doing that we need to change and we need to tweak and maybe enhance just a little bit so that we are keeping up with other people in our industry. Okay, and then number 5 is ideas for your professional development dollars. Now, hopefully you work in an organization where they give you a certain amount each year for your personal and professional development, and you can use that for upskilling. So you definitely want to make sure you're always doing research. Again, you're keeping abreast of the trends. Maybe there's a certification you want to get. Maybe there's another degree you want to get. Maybe there's a conference you want to go to. Maybe there's some online courses you want to take. Okay, maybe there's a particular membership that you want to have. These are all things that you can use for your professional development and hopefully use your departmental budget to be able to do that. So you want to let your supervisor know, here are the goals I have for 2021, 2022, whatever the year is. Here are the goals that I have, and here is the way I want to be able to use my $1,500. I want to be able to use my tuition reimbursement for this, or whatever the case may be. Have a plan for how you want to use that information. Let your supervisor know. Of course, have all the information information ready, maybe web links that he or she can click on and readily get the information, so you can go ahead and have that on your supervisor's radar, and they'll know that's what you want to do. It's aligning with your goals, and they'll be more ready to okay it. They'll be more ready to approve it and give you those days and that time off so that you can upskill as necessary. And then lastly, number 6, and this might be the most important thing of all, might be to bring that confidence. You need confidence in your next interview. After you've talked about your individual accomplishments, your team accomplishments, the industry trends, you've gotten all your feedback from all the great things that you've been doing, you need to add that confidence. That's like the icing on the cake. That's the last thing that you need to bring in there so that your supervisor will be more ready, even more so, to recognize your skills, recognize you for the contributions that you've made, and recognize you for the star on the team that you are. Confidently submit this information, confidently talk to your supervisors about why you're such an attribute to your team, and then even confidently talk about when it comes to your pay raises and how you should be compensated for your contributions. Confidently talk about all those things. That's just as important as the first 5 things that I mentioned. So those were the 6 things that you need to prepare for your next performance review. Today's episode was very short and sweet, and I hope these things were helpful for you, and I hope that you will take these things into consideration for your next performance review, and it helps you to shine. So once again, I'll be here on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time each week with a different career topic that will help you grow and help you to elevate as you go throughout your career. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.